Morning, guys. It's Tuesday, the 11th, and interesting stuff. I got back from Missouri, went back to check on the house next door, and there was a pond in the backyard, ducks all over the place. You know, it's Arizona. It's not easy to get a pond. Then my son was over for Mother's Day dinner. All my kids were actually, and my son walked over to one part of it. He said, "Hey, Dad, come here." I went over there, and there's water boiling out of the ground. So he started digging it up, and I had to go all the way to the front, out to the street, shut off the water meter, stop the flow. Got a main break somewhere, and it's past the house. So I'm guessing the previous owners had trenched and put another line and teed off of it somewhere. So now I got that problem handled. So talk to my plumbers. They can't get equipment out here for another week. So talk to a neighbor of mine. He's going to bring some equipment over. Got to get this thing figured out this morning. So I'm having to wait so I can keep the process going. So why do I share this? Things don't go the way we expect them to, ever. Right? So if you've ever budgeted for something, figured time for something, just know you probably missed something you could have factored in. So we've got to handle that this morning. Got quite a few things going on. So why do I even talk about this other than, just kind of giving you an alert that things happen. Market flips on a little bit, just when we think we can lock something, all of a sudden it changes again. Yesterday we had 3 changes. Why? Because, we got this back and forth news. Recovery of the market. We got, things coming back. People are starting to help the economy, but in reality, it's short-lived because we're really paying people to go out there and spend money as a nation. Then you got inflation going up in some places, but then, so we got the Fed talking about we're keeping inflation under control, but then we got rising lumber costs, rising costs for housing, rising costs all over the place, everywhere rising costs. So where is this inflation being capped? Right? Gets back to CPI, PCE, all numbers that are manipulated by monetary policy, not actual cost of living. So when you look at everything we're spending money on, we're seeing inflation rise quickly. So we get into this because why? If you're locking in a 30-year fixed loan, you are hedging yourself against inflation, something to keep remembering. Very often, I'm still seeing a lot of folks being caught up with what is my cash flow right now? My cash flow is not enough on this deal. Look down the road. If inflation is going up, inflation is driving up everything. We keep talking about over the last few times I've done this, cost of everything's going up. That's going to be rents. As you raise rents, it curbs all that, right? Your expense stays the same as the cost goes up. So think about a grocery store, right? They raise prices because their cost of goods just went up. What if a grocery store could lock in produce for the next 30 years, the cost of that produce for the next 30 years, but they continue to raise the prices with everybody else around them? What does that do? Their profits go significant while the profits of everybody else stay the same, just barely above cost of those expenses. So when you're buying a home, a 30-year fixed mortgage, and you're renting that out, that investment property, you have fixed the majority of your costs. Now, we do know there's maintenance, we do know there's upkeep, we do know there's taxes, we know there's insurance, but the bulk of it is the cost of that property. You're locking it for 30 years, but you continue to move the price with the market. So keep that in mind. Anytime you're looking at a pro forma, anytime you're looking at interest rates, anytime you're trying to factor this in, it doesn't take long for it to make up the difference. It's not about today, it's about down the road. Appreciate you guys' trust. I got to get out there and meet my neighbor. We got to get to work on this. Just letting you guys know ahead of time, I'm going to be out the 19th, 20th, and 21st of this month. I'm going to double check my calendar, make sure that I'm thinking correctly. It's going to be Wednesday the 19th, 20th, and 21st. Unavailable, completely unavailable. I'll be available the morning of the 19th when I'll be on the flight, but 20th and 21st, Thursday, Friday, I will be way off grid. I'm going to go get some of this right. After my experience with COVID and all that stuff, I got to get myself fine-tuned. I got to focus. I'm going to sit down with some folks and really get myself really drilled in. So appreciate you guys. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and let's rock and roll. Thank you. We'll talk to you on Friday.